Greetings. I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the concept of keeping yourself in balance, and more specifically so, keeping yourself grounded. We talk about that all the time in the craft, in witchcraft, especially keeping grounded when we're doing spell work. You hear that term all the time. If you've ever been in a circle, doing ritual in a circle, that you know that very often, before you begin the ritual, we take a few minutes. We usually, if you're in a circle with other people, we usually join hands and keep our feet firmly on the floor. Maybe do a little bit of a little chanting or whatever we need to do. But deep breathing, taking a moment to feel grounded before we begin the ritual. We do the ritual, raise in energy, etc. And then when we come to the end of the ritual, there's usually a time to wind down at the end of the ritual. And very often, as has been my practice usually, it used to be all the time, and now that I'm a little older, it's a little more difficult, but I used to put the energy that has been raised in the circle down into the ground. I go down and touch the ground. Down and touch the ground. I don't normally do that so much anymore, but I do. I usually am barefoot when I perform ritual or anything spell work usually. So my feet very firmly on the ground, the energy back. I feel myself allowing that energy to sink back into the ground. That's what we sort of mean by grounding. You can't do anything that requires having power. It's a bit like if you're a baseball player or you're up at bat. You can't just swing, go up there and keep your feet together and swing wildly at the ball. Because you're using great strength. You have to have your feet in a certain position so that your center of gravity is secure and that your body is balanced on the earth in order to put the force behind the ball. You have to do the same thing when you're doing witchcraft, spellcraft, or ritual. Okay, so that's what we kind of mean by grounding. So that's a physical thing that we do. But what about walking around in the world, which is my terminology that I have used, and I know since you've met me, you have seen me wearing these. I've got bracelets coming out of my ears. I wear all kinds of gemstones, right? All kinds of gemstones for different reasons. And mostly, I wear them to keep myself in balance. If I'm going to be in a time, if I'm going to be in a place where I am, and I'm uneasy, maybe it's a situation I've never been to, a place I've never been to, or meeting people that I might be a little nervous about meeting, or afraid that I'm going to make an idiot of myself, or whatever. I find that wearing things that keep me balanced, keep me grounded, helps me keep my steadiness, keeps my logic, my mind. I don't trip over my words so often. At least I don't worry about tripping. I still kind of do, because that's what I do. But I don't worry about it so much. I don't worry about it so much. I don't worry so much about what people are thinking about me, or what, or people laughing at me, or people, whatever. That, we all have these little insecurities. I feel better. I don't go into the Home Depot and have like a rage in the Home Depot like I used to. Since I wear my bracelets, I keep myself nice and steady and under control. I don't know if it's the stone. It could very well be the stone. It could also very well be the feeling on my wrist of the weight of the stones hugging my wrist tightly, which I like to wear them tight on my wrist. They stretch out after a while, then I restring them so they're tight on my wrist. Because when they're tight on my wrist, I'm reminded all the time that they're there. When I go into that strange situation, I can feel my bracelets. If somebody approaches me, I can feel my bracelets. It helps keep me grounded. Now, I have people say to me all the time, what exactly do you mean by keeping grounded? What does that mean? What does that mean? it means different things for me and for different times. Sometimes it literally means that I feel when I go walking down the street or when I go standing somewhere, okay, let's pretend I'm standing in front of a group of people, that I don't worry that I'm going to fall over. I don't know if you ever have the feeling that you thought you were going to fall over. I never have actually fallen over, but sometimes you're just a little unsteady on your feet. And maybe it's not even unsteady on your feet, it's unsteady inside you, that you have this feeling of, you know, you're wobbling, a little wobbly, a little shaky. Being grounded, that doesn't happen. Being grounded, that doesn't happen. You don't have that feeling. You have this feeling of strength coming from the inside of you. Connecting to the earth, connecting to the firmness of the earth, and connecting, as witches, to the elements. Connecting to the element of air, so that you have clear mind, so that you can think what you want to say. Right? Connecting to the element of fire, so that you keep the interest in what you're saying, keep the interest in the conversation, keep the interest up what you're doing, and show and are able to share with people or with whatever the situation, that desire that you have, that spark of interest that you have in whatever you're doing. You know, the element, the keeping connection with the element of water, so that you keep your emotions. You're able to keep your negative emotions in check, but your positive emotions you're able to share with others. And of course then keeping with the connection of the earth, right? Keeping our stance, keeping firm, keeping our self-esteem, keeping our confidence, those kind of things. That's what we normally mean by grounding. That's why I normally wear these. This is a moss agate, and it's called the gardener's stone, I think it's called. It's just, you know, through my garden is where I find my grounding. And that's through the dirt, through the earth. And that's a personal thing to me. So that's why I feel this so much, okay? I'll talk to you about that a little more in the end, a little later. But what I have done here today is I have, as a part of a tarot challenge that I got from the internet through Kelly at A Truth and Story, I found this tarot challenge, which was all about using old decks that we haven't used before, and I'm going to show you the spread in a few minutes. But what I got from that was this spread. I was looking for a spread because I have these decks that I have to do some kind of a little spread, and I have to take the picture. Kind of silly, but I do take the picture for Instagram, and so on Instagram I just wanted a small picture. I didn't want a big huge spread. I wanted a little small, nice small, just a few card spread, but I wanted a different spread for every day. I didn't want to use the same one every day. So I was looking around for a new spread, and I came across the spread that's called excuse me, it's called I could have made this up. A tarot spread for balance, and it has 3 cards, and I will show you that in a minute. But this is not talking about the kind of balance that I need when I'm standing in front of a crowd or walking down the street or going into a new situation. This is about the balance that is inside me, and my connection to what is outside me, inside me, outside me, and the fact that it's mostly playing this movie in my head. It's not a physical, I feel grounded on the earth kind of a thing. It's not a physical, I need to wear bracelets kind of a thing. And it's not a chakra kind of a thing, which I'll talk to you in a minute about. It's a kind of an energy between things that I want, things that I desire, and steps that what I do to go about attaining what it is that I desire. And in able to balance what I hope I have and what I do have. And able to balance my efforts and my will. I really want it really bad, so I have to balance my efforts so that I get it. You understand what I mean? This is a kind of balance that affects us every day. It affects all of us. You might not have any issues at all with standing in front of people, or you might have never have any, put yourself in the circumstance to go and stand in front of people and have to talk or sing or play an instrument. You maybe never have any opportunity that you have to go. Maybe you never go into venture into any new situations, or you don't have a problem going into a new circumstance and not feeling overwhelmed with it. Maybe you've never had the urge to have a meltdown, absolute meltdown in the Home Depot like I have. Good for you. But I bet you have had an instance where what you want more than anything in the world, you prepare for what you think you really, really want. You prepare for it. You buy maybe you want to make something, okay? And you buy all the supplies. You learn how to do it. You set up the room, maybe even set up a room to do it in. You think you guard against any chance of failure, right? Only to find that you're your biggest enemy, that you just can't. Why can't I do this? I just can't do it. Why am I not doing it? I have all the time in the world. This is what happens to me. I'm retired. What else do I have to do? I mean, I do have a lot of things to do. I have responsibilities in my house, maybe more than others. We do have 20 pets, including our chickens and our chicks. We have a garden. We do have those things. We have a pretty big house for 2 people, and we have some physical disabilities, not disabilities, but some physical challenges, let's say, as with aging or whatever, that it makes it a little harder to do some of these things. We have a limited income. So there is reasons that we have some challenges, but there's no reason in the world that we can't do what we set out to do. There's no reason in the world other than we just don't. When we do not do what we want to do, what happens to us? We feel bad about ourselves, right? All of a sudden we start to get all these negative things in our heads. I just spent, okay, we're done 3 months into this year. The first 2 months I spent working on my shadow work. I dwelled in my world of what the hell's the matter with me? Why do I feel like I do? What kind of things do I need to work on from my past or from my innermost fears or from my dreams or whatever? What do I need to face that I'm not facing? Did these things. Organize myself with my bullet journal. I spent a lot of time on that, getting everything organized so that I'm absolutely accountable for everything I do. I've declared myself to have a depth year, which means I'm not going out and buying new things. I'm going to make things out of what I have. I'm going to use what I have, so I don't have any money issues with anything I'm doing. So what the hell is the matter with me that I'm not moving forward in my goals, with my goals, that I'm not manifesting my goals? Well, I wanted to find out. That's why I did this. One of these things I wanted to find out was, and that's why this tarot spread show reading is for. But the thing is, before I get to that point, what I want to say is that's what makes me feel off balance. It makes me feel off. I'm not grounded. I'm just not grounded in myself. Because the things that you really truly desire to do, you desire to do them, they're a part of you. And if you do not do them, oh my goodness, you feel so bad, don't you? You feel guilty. You feel like self-loathing almost. Self-loathing. Why do I don't do it? How I do that? And then you start to remember all the times. I do this all the time. Oh, I hate myself. Why do I do this? What makes me the way I am? Those are the feelings of being off balance. Those are the feelings of being not grounded. Only a person who truly knows who they are and who truly where they're going feels balance. Okay? I'm going to be showing you this Princess of Wands in a minute. She looks all the world like she knows where she's going. She looks all the world like she has confidence. But she's not walking, she's standing very firmly on the ground. Very firmly on the ground. She's not moving. Why? That's what I wanted to find out. So this might not apply to you. You might think this doesn't apply to me, and that's very true. And God love you. You do not. If you do not have the issues that I have of letting yourself down over and over again, or trying to seek that balance again, trying to seek that balance between what I want and what I get. I admire you. I really do. I really do. And you don't need to watch this video. You need to make a video to tell me what I need to be doing. But if any of you feel like if you feel like that ever, it's a nice. I'm going to show you a nice little spread, a little tarot spread you can use. You don't have to use a tarot spread. You can use other things, but to try to see what it is. It seems like you should know what it is that's giving you back. And I kind of did know what was giving me back, but I didn't really know the whole truth. And this tarot spread opened up eyes for me in a whole new way. So I'm going to let you have this. I'm going to show you the spread, and I'll be back with my closing comments. Okay. If you're following me on Instagram, you might have seen this image, or you might have seen this image on Bird in the Crone, my Bird in the Crone Facebook page. But this is a little spread that I did for today, a little reading, 3-card reading, for a challenge, tarot challenge I learned about through Kelly at the Truth and Story. It is a 7 days, 7 decks tarot challenge. So for 7 days for this week, this last week in March, we are using a different deck each day, particularly decks that we haven't used, that maybe are new to us or we haven't used in a long time, and doing a little reading with it and then just posting that on Instagram. It's been a lot of fun, and it was great for me because since I've been doing these month-long tarot challenges, getting to know different tarot decks that I have, different new tarot decks, those are personal challenges I've made myself. I have neglected some of the other newer decks that I have. And this is one. This is the Druid Craft Tarot. And this is one that I really, really am anxious to get to work with. So I was happy to do this, have it already, get a chance to work with it, because I probably won't be working with this one until perhaps May. I'm not sure. I think May. I have it on schedule. I sort of have them scheduled, which ones I'm going to use for my monthly card of my deck of the month in my bullet journal here. But anyway, I was really interested in this spread. It's a very simple. I found it today randomly, but it is another spread on balance, and this is a little bit of a different twist to it, because this is. I'll read you what the points are in the spread. First, I have them here in my bullet journal. The center card, no, the first card is to represent where am I not putting in enough energy. The second card, which is this one, is where am I putting in too much energy. And the third card, which is in the center here, what would life look like for me if I created more balance? Well, this kind of balance, let me tell you a little bit about this first. Since I have started, it's sort of ironic that I'm using it in my bullet journal, because the whole idea of this bullet journal for me in the beginning was to allow myself to take more control over my life. I have a tendency to scatter my efforts. I'm one of these people who have a very strong creative drive initially, and I start a million different projects, and I get real excited at the idea of a new project, and then often I will put my attention elsewhere and start another project rather than maybe finishing it. So I thought this journal was going to be a really good way for me to really track my progress, which it has been. It has been a really good way to track my progress, but it also, I have to admit, has been a really good way of tracking my not progress. I'm migrating. There's a little trick in here where you make bullets, and when you complete in front of every task, and when you complete the task, you X out the bullet. And in my case, if you do not complete the task, you use the little arrow over the bullet, and that way you migrate the bullet to the future sometime to do it another time. And I'm doing a lot. I got a lot of those little arrows in my in my journal here. But anyway, it's not so much just completing tasks that we're talking about today. What I want to talk about today, we're talking about the issue of control and balance. We're talking about balance, keeping myself in control through balance. And it's not just accomplishing tasks. What I want to say first is, if you will recall, back in the fall, I think it was at Maybon, I shared a spread there which was about balancing, but it was called Harvest What You Sow, and that is a reading that I do sow at a special time of the year during Maybon, Samhain, and Lammas for the harvest time, where we actually the purpose of it is to check in and see what we have accomplished so far, where we still need to go, where what has been accomplished, what has still not come to fruition, what do we still need to do to get things to come to fruition, that kind of a balance. But this kind of a balance, this is something that affects me a little bit more, because this has to do with the way I feel. It's not just that I'm not accomplishing things in my journal, it's that I'm not accomplishing things in my journal because I'm getting in my own way. I have the time to do them. I have the ability to do them. They're right there in front of me. I can do them very simply. What is keeping me from picking them up and doing them? And I think this is something I really wanted to share today, because I think this kind of balance is something that we all suffer from, this lack of balance. And I don't think we think of it as being a balance. That's what I want to say. I don't think most of us think in terms of, if I'm not doing what I wish to do, it's because I'm out of balance in some way. And I'm here to tell you that I think a lot of it has to do with your personal balance, and I'll tell you why. I want to first explain my what I got in my reading, so that you can see where I'm coming from. I have for my first card the Princess of Wands, which is the equivalent of a Page of Wands in a Rider-Waite deck. And this is something that, where I am not putting in enough energy, what do I have to do? In what part of my life do I need to be more actively involved? And it talks about here, you can see from the image, I believe, that maybe I should hold that up so you can see it better. I'm not sure. Can you see that? I never know how to do it with the light. Anyway, this is the Princess of Wands. She has herself, she's standing very firmly in one position on the ground, and she has her staff planted very firmly beside her. She is not really moving. She's standing there in one place. And that's very much the way I feel sometimes, that I'm just not progressing. I'm just putting things off until the next day. I think so many of us do these kind of things. And here it is, it's talking about taking the creative spark, which has given me, the initiative to do all of these projects and things that I really want to do so much, and making that something that is, take that into reality, instead of just into, oh, I wish this could happen, to really make it happen. I need to do what I need to do to make it happen, rather than just let it sit there. And she is so obviously telling me that I have all of the abilities. It's not like I don't have ideas, or it's not like I don't have good ideas. It's not like I don't have the talent. It's not like I don't have the, creative urge. It's not like I don't, have the materials in front of me that I need. There's no reason that I'm postponing it. What is making me postpone these things? Okay. And over here, this is the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Very strong cards for me normally, right? But the Queen of Cups here is telling me that I am putting too much energy where? That was the issue. That was the reading point on this card. Where am I putting too much energy? And apparently I'm spending too much time trying to make sense of all of my feelings and all of my emotions. And it's very understandable, considering the fact that I just spent the month of January and February working on shadow work with the Deviant Moon Tarot. I was working on my shadow. I was working on all these negative memories and bad feelings and feelings of inadequacy and loneliness and some of these things and what was causing them. I spent too many times working there, and it took away, I've been carrying it with me. Now I'm still carrying some of these things with me, even though I've tried to put this deck away, which, by the way, I have to get the Deviant Moon out tomorrow because it's my card for tomorrow, but just for tomorrow. But anyway, what I want to say is I'm spending too much time internally, with my thoughts, with my dreams. I've been having the craziest dreams. I am spending so much time trying to work through my dream, and half of the day is gone before I get over it. Okay? I need to make sure that I keep my intuition, okay, at hand. I need to make sure that I'm completely remaining open to the messages that I receive. It's great advice that I give myself. I'm a crone. I have a lot of good advice to give myself. But rather than trying to heal any of the old wounds, I need to step back, leave them where they belong in the past, and I need to make this girl walk. She's got to walk. She's got to get moving down that road. She has absolutely everything she needs to do it. Get out of this, you know, she's got her eyes closed. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Okay? This is what my life will look like when it's in balance. And this is a really good card. This is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is telling me that plans can be well underway. Plans will well be underway when I am in balance. Opportunities will be explored. He's looking way forward in the distance, and all he sees is this beautiful path below him. Can you see? This beautiful path below him. I don't know if that helps or not. When he's in balance, he's going to be able to, when I'm in balance, I'm going to be able to take that walk. I'll be able to see far ahead of me. I will be able to prepare myself for any new opportunities that come into my life in the future, or any obstacles that might come in front of me. I'm going to be able to see. I'm not going to have my eyes closed. I'm going to see well into what's ahead of me. Okay. Now, why do I want to talk to you about that today? Seems like a really simplistic kind of a reading. It really is. It made me feel a little better, but not that much better. You know, like I understood it, but it didn't change anything. So what do I want to talk to you about today? Okay. What I want to talk to you about today is I also pulled a witch's rune. Remember when I made the witch's runes? I think in the summer. And I was interesting to see that I pulled the witch's rune, this one. Can you see that? I'm not sure. How do I hold it up? Looks like a Y. It's the symbol for female energy, for a woman. Female energy. Well, okay, yes, I have female energy. So what does that have to do with anything? It has to do with somebody who's very much a nurturer, who's very much, you know, likes to care for people, healing wounds, etc. As is the Queen of Cups, somebody who's very much somebody who's a caregiver. But this one struck me too. When I pulled the rune out, I realized something else in my reading that I had sort of overlooked with just the cards. I had overlooked the fact, because I'm thinking, well, there's nobody, I don't have any children in my house, the only person here is my husband and me. And then I went, oh, my husband. Oh, my poor husband. And I'm thinking, you know, I've been having some trouble this year. A little personal information here, but I'm having some little bit of trouble this year. So far, in the last couple months, really being in tune, like in sync with my husband in certain ways. Like, I don't feel like we're as connected as we often are. And I was thinking here it was just a coincidence. You know, that happens. We're kind of new still into the experiment of living together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without any side any side trips. We're away from each other like you would if you had a job or interests. Even our personal interests are the same, so we don't even get away from each other with our personal interests. We're together all the time. And I thought it was just maybe, you know, getting used to that, but no, it's a little different. And here it's very clear to me that my imbalance of not being able to keep my time spent with doing my shadow work and looking inside myself and worrying about my dreams and worrying about, you know, fears or anxieties or regrets or whatever that are keeping me from moving on in my creative endeavors are also keeping me from giving the attention to my husband that he needs, that he really needs. It's important to our marriage, right? I mean, I'm not going to say we have the most traditional marriage in the world, but yes, it is my responsibility as a partner, as it is his responsibility as a partner, regardless of our sex roles of sex, whether we're female or male, or what jobs males have or females. We don't really have that in our family, but we both should be there to nurture and support each other. And I have been spending a lot of time nurturing and supporting myself, I have to say. So in this case, it really opened my eyes. It's really given me the kickstart and given this princess a kickstart. She's got to get a kick in the pants and get moving down that road, because I don't want it to hurt. It's one thing when it hurts me. It really hurts me and it puts me off balance when I don't do what I'm supposed to do, but I have no business hurting another person, and that's what I'm doing here. So I have to be really careful. So this is why I want to share this part of my reading with you. I also wanted to say, as you can see here, I don't know if you can see on my table here, but I have these are the bracelets that I normally wear all the time. This is moss agate and a little bit of rose quartz that I wear all the time, and this is what helps keeps me in balance. And this is why people ask me questions about what do I mean by keeping myself grounded, getting my balance, So I wanted to explain that to you. And I also wanted to tell you that this is a bracelet that I sell on my website. This is, well, I sell these too, but this is one I wear a lot, and this is my chakra balancing. It's helping me balance the chakras. Where this helps me balance, keeps me grounded on the earth, keeps my feet on the ground, keeps me moving forward, keeps me that feeling of I'm in balance with everything around me, with the elements, with the, it's like that feeling of I can take it, I can handle this, that I'm not going to be overwhelmed by anything. This is more like the balance in my body, and I'm really trying to get my chakras in balance. This is my internal balancing. Okay, and I love this bracelet that I've designed, and I have some. I just want to show you that I have some new ones. And aside, I have a lot of them. I just have completed a new. I have more in stock. I was out of stock for a while, but I have more in stock in my shop on the website, and they're selling for $32 right now, so plus shipping. But anyway, they're lovely. And the stones, the combination of the stones that I'm using in here, I have a stone representing every chakra, and the combination of stones that I have, plus the rose quartz that I love so much, and the snowflake obsidian topaz, is just, I can feel a difference wearing it already. So you're going to see me wearing that quite a lot. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you. The difference I wanted to show you in mine is that I have extra beads because I have, as you can say, big hands, big wrists. So I have extra on mine, but this is what the normal size would look like. Just a bit of normal wrist, not a gargantuan, not a gargantuan like me. Okay. I hope that helped, or you maybe thought it was interesting. I want to say that I just want to reiterate this witch's rune really put me over the edge. It really put me over the edge when I thought, what I do when I'm not in balance is affecting the person I love the most, the person I care about the most. And when I affect him in that way, what is happening to him? It puts him out of balance. It puts him out of, right, it keeps him from feeling grounded and able to move forward. So anything that he's able to do, I'm kind of, I'm causing him to fail at what he's trying to do. It's a cycle, and I think we do this with people that we love all the time, and we don't notice. We don't notice it because when we're out of balance in this way, like I am here, it's an internal thing. We think we can get away with it and hide it from other people. Well, you can see that we don't hide it at all. We really don't hide it at all. So I want to encourage you to do, like, if it is tarot readings, if you have these problems, or if you can wear gemstones, you know, you can do a lot of research online and see what stones are better for you. Or you can do, you know, there's a lot of other ways. You don't have to wear stones like I do. I just want to say when I wear them, you know, I usually always wear these, and when I'm trying to do balance, I wear the two of these together. And since I've been wearing this chakra bracelet to try to keep my chakras in line too, I'm just now starting to study about the chakras. I really don't understand it so much. So I at least have the stones to get me going in the beginning. And since I'm wearing that, what is about balance, people have been asking me about this bracelet. This is nothing more than rose quartz and snowflake obsidian. So it's a kind of balancing the energies, the good energies that are causing me to be happy and secure and feeling warm and good, with blocking energies, snowflake obsidian, which is protecting me, blocking negative things from me. And I'm wearing that only because it keeps me in balance too and two. That is a little quirk. That has nothing to do with anything official. That's just something that I'm doing because it makes me feel, again, I work so much, I depend so much on the feel of the bracelets on my wrist. It's not just about what the stones are. It's very important what the stones are. I have to relate to the stones, but it is about the feel on my wrist. When I have no stones at all, I kind of feel like exposed. I kind of feel like exposed. I don't know. Anyway, I thought this was interesting, but your responses may vary. If you have any tricks, or if you ever have found yourself out of balance or not grounded, you know, how you want to ground yourself or anything like that, if you have these kind of same sensitivities that I obviously have them, I'm very super sensitive about them, or it wouldn't mean so much to me. I recognize not everybody is, but if you have these sensitivities, I'd love to hear how you deal with them. So I'd love a video response if you could, or just leave your comments in the bottom is fine. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.